I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
And this week we bounce around with Robin Williams as he plays with rubber as the most forgetful man alive, but apparently somehow is also a brilliant scientist.
And also maybe the most forgettable man alive. Flubber from 1997.
I love you with all my heart, with every molecule, with every atom. I love you on a subatomic level.
This is going to be the very last time I try to marry you.
I'd rather die than disappoint you.
On the most important day of his life, Philip Brainerd, the world's most absent-minded professor, made a few little mistakes.
Oops. Wow, what a bang.
And one gigantic flub.
Flubber.
Flubber? Sounds like baby shampoo.
It's a metastable compound. If you apply a small amount of energy, it liberates an enormous quantity of energy.
This definitely has applications in the field of sports.
When I exit this window, the flubber will send me right back up unharmed.
Are you nuts?
Ta-ta, my love. Ouch.
What do you mean by forgettable?
Well, what did they do to Robin Williams?
That is true. You know what I think it is? I don't think they kept any of his improvised stuff in the movie.
Right, so why did you cast him then? What was the point?
Because I think that John Hughes is more of like a purist with
John
his
Hughes
scripts.
can suck my dick when it comes to this.
Which, I don't want to jump ahead, but I just was shocked when it was, I didn't think it was the same John Hughes. I didn't think John Hughes. Amazing writer John Hughes.
Because this is not a great movie.
It's definitely not great.
It's really disjointed.
It's 90s.
But it is very 90s, yes. It's highly stylized to the 90s.
But I didn't hate it.
I don't hate it either, but it's not a good movie.
No, it's definitely just silly.
And, you don't want to... It's not like you're like, oh, man, I'd like to see that again. No, I don't know about that.
And I didn't want to give anything away last week, because I definitely remembered watching this movie, and I remembered, as a kid, just being very unimpressed.
That's what I mean. It's very unimpressive.
Correct, sir.
Why didn't you let Robin Williams be Robin Williams? This could have been a really good movie.
There was definitely some fun parts of this movie.
But you just made him the most bland milquetoast guy in the world.
Yeah.
Even Fred McMurray had more pop and personality as the absent-minded professor.
Well, we still haven't watched Absent-Minded Professor.
Yeah, we did.
No, we watched the second one. We watched Son of Flubber.
Which is the Flubber movie.
So we watched No. Absent-Minded Professor is Flubber. That's when he discovers Flubber.
But we saw him driving the flying car.
That's the second part. The end of Absent-Minded Professor, we learned this in the fun facts, is him driving the car to Washington with Tommy Kirk.
I just thought are you sure we didn't watch both of them?
Yes, we didn't watch it.
I just gotta look. Because in my mind's eye, we watched both of them.
No, we just watched the second one.
Because I thought it was the other one where I found out the saucies. No, I guess we didn't.
No, because that's the thing, is that the second one picks up right at the end of the first one. And it's him...
Oh, and he's flying the car.
Away from the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
And that's why he's they're all excited. They're going to get their government check and everything.
And that's why the second one's more Tommy Kirk focused than Fred McMurray focused, right?
I can't remember, honestly.
I think so. I think
it's equally focused.
Maybe equally focused. And there's some broad with Tommy Kirk.
Yeah, it's Nancy, your lady you like so much.
Yeah.
The blonde-haired lady, Nancy Wilson.
Yeah. She's better when she gets older.
Yeah, it's the same... It's this movie.
As Smith's wife.
Yeah.
Saucy.
But I didn't dislike it, but yeah, it's definitely not a great movie by any means, but I don't hate it,
but it's just not good.
I didn't hate the watching experience.
And it could be, the watching experience could have been better. The Robin Williams-ness of it just is a total waste of Robin Williams' talent and time.
Yeah, it's not...
I'm really surprised. They should have played to his strengths, and just didn't. Maybe
we're a little biased because we just watched Aladdin, which is Robin Williams' peak improvisation.
Yeah, but when I see a movie with Robin Williams, I want something like that.
Yeah.
We've come to this planet looking for intelligent life. Oops, we made a mistake.
We're happy to be in America. Don't ask for a green card.
I want you in the worst way.
Well, it's certainly a rough meeting, and it's not going very well for me, I'll tell you that. Hey, boss, give it a chance. She's going to loosen up any moment.
Look at me right now, Moneypenny. I want to undo that bow and get to know you. I'm crazy to make a deal with you.
Nancy and I are still looking for the other half of my head.
Idiot! You're doing it! I'm sitting on a gold mine!
Don't make me smack you, sweetheart. I'll do it.
Figaro.
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Let me read the synopsis.
He needs to be funny.
I agree. Flubber from 1997, science fiction family comedy. Brilliant but befuddled Professor Philip Brainerd is on the brink of inventing a revolutionary energy source and missing his wedding to Dr. Sarah Jean Reynolds, a president of financially challenged Medfield College, for the third time. When Philip experiments with his own theory, he instead creates Flubber, a miraculous elastic goo. Philip and Weebo, his flying cyber psychic, soon discover that when Flubber is applied to anything, it can bounce super high and fast. But is Flubber good enough to win back Sarah and save Medfield from its financial problems?
To be continued. Wait, did we watch the Monkey's Uncle Part 1?
Yes.
Is that what we saw? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The Misadventures of Merlin Jones.
Monkey's Uncle 1, yeah.
Yeah. We watched all that.
Yeah,
we don't need any more of that.
That might have been where I was a little confused.
Yes. 100%.
Because they're almost the same movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pretty much the same. And I'm sure Absent Minded Professor is pretty much the same as Son of Flubber.
Yeah.
Sure, they're very similar.
Yeah. So, what are we going to bounce our way through?
We haven't done any of this stuff yet. What are you doing?
Oh, my bad. I'm just trying to move right along, I guess. You know.
Clearly. So our director, Les Mayfield.
He made Encino Man.
Yeah, I saw that and was like, what? How is this even related?
Yeah. Or Miracle on 34th Street, which is a pretty good Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And he made Blue Streak. Have you seen that Martin Lawrence movie?
No, I haven't seen that Martin Lawrence movie.
Pretty good movie. Funny.
I mean, this is just an off thing for him, I guess.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to try a Disney movie. Oh, no, I don't.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
And then our writers, we have Bill Walsh and Sam Taylor, who were the original writers.
Right. And then John Hughes comes in, and he must really like the original and is like, I want to remake this.
And have none of my style or any style to it.
It's just so bizarre to me, because it's Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, Uncle Buck, Weird Science, Home Alone, all these great, amazing movies that are almost perfect movies.
I feel like he needed to direct this, and they shouldn't have put Robin Williams in this movie. They should have got somebody else. If they wanted a robot, they should have got a fucking robot.
Not even a robot, just a different vibe.
But I mean, that's what I mean. Like, you're just waiting for Robin Williams to drop some funniness, and they just don't let him do it.
You were disappointed.
I was. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think I was disappointed. I just think I don't know. I didn't think, I guess, but then when you say that, I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe I did think that in part of the movie, but I don't know.
He never even yells. What the hell?
No, he doesn't. That's true. He doesn't do his typical Robin
And he's
Williams.
like sad like 3/4 of the time.
I mean, but I guess he's not crazy in some of his more serious roles, though.
But he's always funny.
Okay, fair enough. But he still, didn't do a bad performance. He's still a good actor.
It's not a bad performance. It's a bad job by the people who were in charge of making this movie, not letting him do it.
His character's just not...
Yeah, it's just not there. There's no reason to waste Robin Williams on that character, is what I'm saying.
Well, and the character's just not super likable.
Like, that's what I mean. And, like, if Disney wanted to give Robin Williams a movie, make him a movie. Don't shoehorn him into this movie and be like, oh, it's Robin Williams. Ha, ha, ha.
Well, the character is just... From the opening scene, you're just like, or opening like bit of the movie, you're like, what the fuck? You can't even show up for your own wedding? Like, yeah, bitch, leave him. He's a piece of garbage. You just...
Yeah, that part of the story really was weird, and it played all the way through the whole movie.
I don't buy that someone is that forgettable and still being a brilliant scientist. Because you have to remember all kinds of formulas and all kinds of calculations.
Sure.
And it just doesn't track. And then the love interest, Marcia Gay Harden, who is just famous for being Marcia Gay Harden because she's in everything. But she always plays like the neurotic mother in a lot of TV movies. Because there's a Lifetime movie that is about her being the mother to this daughter who's like promiscuous. And it's called She's Too Young. And I remember watching it with my mom. My mom like went out of the way to make me watch this movie because the daughter like gets an STD and there's an STD outbreak in the school. And then Marcia Gay Harden takes it upon herself to investigate the STD outbreak. And it is one of the most ridiculous Lifetime movies that there ever is.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. So I saw her and then I read that in the credits and I was like, oh my God. And all these memories of that movie just came like flashing back.
She's beginning to discover boys.
Want to go upstairs?
Did something happen last night?
But she's not fast.
It's just sex. It's just something we do with guys.
You are setting yourself up to get hurt.
She's just keeping up.
You just do it for me?
I thought it was enough to do it with you.
She's 14 years old. You're having sex.
You do it, or they'll find some other girl who will.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Is it really that awful to want to be popular?
She's too young. Premieres at 8 Monday night, only on Lifetime.
But she always plays like a neurotic mom or a neurotic townsperson or something. She's good for that. She's got
the townie.
And is she like hot back then? Is she like?
No.
That's what I thought. So it's just I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one thing. But I swear people thought she was, but definitely not.
No, not so much.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And then we have Shooter.
So
I fucking love Shooter McGavin in anything he's in.
I know you do. And then he came on screen, and I was thinking, oh, here.
Oh no! As soon as I saw his name in the credits, I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
I don't remember his name
Christopher
ever.
McDonald. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I never remember his name, even though I've seen him in 5 million things.
Yeah.
And he plays this kind of skeezy character all the time.
He's great at it.
I love him in Hacks when he plays like the male hotel owner
guy.
Yeah,
I completely
Hacks.
forgot about that. Have you seen him in Thelma and Louise?
No, I've never seen that movie.
He's a gross character in that. It's great.
I've never seen that movie.
You should see that movie. It's really good.
I'm sure it is.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Doesn't it have Gina Davis in it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll watch it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I do want... So, I didn't know why that one goon guy, the Ted Levine guy, looked so familiar. He's the main thing in Silence of the Lambs.
He's Buffalo Bill.
He's Buffalo Bill.
Well, his other goon is the main bad guy in Shawshank Redemption.
It's just...
They did that on purpose.
Oh, did they?
That's one of my fun facts, is they cast those two guys as the, like... two evilest movie characters of the 90s.
Okay.
As just the comic relief bad guys in this movie.
I did enjoy their parts, actually. Like,
yeah.
Even though they're really
whack.
silly,
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, a lot of whack in there. A lot of 90s whack.
I didn't know... I couldn't figure out... I guess I didn't realize that Jodi Benson voiced Weebo.
It makes sense now that we listen back, though.
Now that I'm like...
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, that does sound like Ariel.
But I was like, why does her voice sound so familiar? And I couldn't figure it out.
Thing.
And I was like, oh. And she's just,
sassy Weebo.
What about your wedding? Sorry, Sarah.
I thought that she was going to... At first, I thought, oh, this character is going to be really annoying. And then,
not at all.
I actually thought she was like one of the best parts of the movie.
And of course, just a little shout out for our cameo for Edie McClurg. She's got to be in all these movies.
Yeah, at the beginning, she's like the other teacher or whatever.
Yeah, who we can't remember her name.
But wait, I can't remember her name either.
Well, yeah, because he said like 3 or 4 different names, so
and she was only in one because she's been in a ton of stuff, but I can't remember what else we've seen her in for this podcast.
We've seen her in like at least 3 or 4 other movies.
Yeah, because is she the like principal secretary in Ferris Bueller? Is that the lady?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
yeah.
that's where I recognize her from the most, I think.
Yeah. But she's in lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. And then the only one I'll call out is that the son of the rich guy is Will Wheaton, which
I don't even know who that is.
He's
really.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton?
He was in Stand By Me. He was in Star Trek Next Generation.
Well, I guess I recognize him kind of.
He's like a very famous...
Who was he in TNG?
I don't know.
Oh, the doctor's kid.
Yeah, but he's been in a ton of movies, and...
Will Wheaton.
He's also just
He looks like Tommy Kirk.
Okay,
I was like,
so,
what the fuck?
We'll go right into fun facts. The reason that John Hughes cast him in this is because he looks like Tommy Kirk.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, wow.
I was like, when that kid was on there, I was like, damn, that kid looks like Tommy Kirk. It can't be him, but wow.
Yeah, that's why he cast him. But Will Wheaton's just kind of one of those C-level celebrities that just kind of pops up all over the place. And he's super into nerdy stuff.
His name sounded really familiar, but I was like, I don't know.
And I think he has a pretty well-known podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I mean, nowadays everybody has a podcast, so nobody has a podcast.
I know. It's not like special. God, yeah. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I didn't get many fun facts other than that they had enough improv scenes from Robin Williams, because he would do one on at least every take, to make an entirely different movie.
Which maybe they should have.
They definitely should have.
I mean, look at Aladdin.
This should have been Aladdin Part 2 Flubber. Fuck John Hughes.
Oh, no.
No, John Hughes did not do anything to make this better. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes me mad is they got... Okay, John Hughes should have made his own Disney movie, not a fucking remake. Should have had his own brainstorming kind of thing. And they either should have let Robin Williams take this movie over or made him his own movie.
Yeah.
That was like something that could let Robin Williams shine as Robin Williams.
And this doesn't have... Like, all John Hughes movies kind of have this core heart to the movie. Well, it's not just that. I mean, Pretty in Pink has the same thing. Like, it has this just feeling in the movie that this just didn't really have.
Yeah, it didn't. That's what I mean. This whole thing is a fucking mess. Like, really, every transition to every scene it's just like a bunch of non sequiturs stuck together.
Yeah, with a very thin center plot throughout the whole thing that is very strange.
I mean, the way they shoehorned in the bad guy was just like, oh, here's this rich guy.
Oh, I'm upset about your grades. Now I'm upset about I want Flubber, even though there's no way for me to know that's what was powering your car. Okay, so the other... I guess I have two other fun facts really quick.
Okay, yeah.
So the young window boy who gets terrorized throughout the whole movie, he actually played a young Robin Williams in a different movie, the What Dreams May Come movie.
All right, fair enough.
They've worked together before. And then the last one is that McDonald had turned down this part initially until John Hughes was like, bro, I got Robin Williams on this. And then he was like, okay, I'll do it. Because I've never worked with Robin Williams and I really want to work with him.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He turned it down because he felt like it was too similar to his other roles and he didn't want to just do the same thing.
Yeah, but now he embraces being a prick.
Yeah, it's literally, that's all he can really do. Just like
I don't think that's all he can do, but he's really good at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean by that's all he can do. It's just like, what are you going to do?
I love him in anything he's in. I don't give a shit. I'm just... all in on Shooter McGavin.
I know. That's also what I kept calling him in my head.
Oh, no, that's all I wrote down. I just kept calling him Shooter. His name is Wilson in the movie, but
it's Shooter. Also, speaking of names, everybody in this movie, I could never remember their name.
Other than Sarah.
And Weebo. Until somebody said their name. But like
they could have said Philip 30 times, and I still would not associate that with.
It's just a very forgettable name.
They should have called him Dr. Blank.
Well, she's not going to refer to him as Dr. Blank.
Everybody, or Professor. Everybody did in the Son of Flubber or whatever.
I've called him Professor.
All of the people call him Professor whatever. It was a memorable thing. Or even her calling him Professor is not really that weird.
I think it's weird.
They teach in the same school. That's what she would call him as Professor.
Like at home?
Well, at least on the job, professionally, when she's mad at him, she'd be like, Professor. Instead of, Philip,
I'm so mad at you, but not really.
I'm gonna go make it look like I'm gonna suck your old partner's cock.
I'm just a really big, dumb idiot who just keeps putting up with abuse.
With a nose like a golf ball that's turned up.
Okay, anyways.
That's what it looks like.
Wait, do you mean a golf tee?
Ball. No. It looks like a golf ball that's only like this too.
Does it?
Yeah.
I think she has an upturned nose, but it's not round.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Okay, I'll have to look at it later and just to make my own scientific evaluation on that. So, yeah, I guess what you were saying 5 million years ago when you were trying to jump ahead of the entire podcast, we'll bounce our way through this? Flub our way through this?
Flub it. So we cut in right away to this Rube Goldberg house.
Of so many machines.
And gadgets and gadgets. He hits this button and it launches the trash can 5 miles in the air.
What purpose?
For it to land 25 feet out into the street so it can get picked up.
Is that what the purpose of it is?
Yeah. It was in the yard and it lands at the side of the street.
I thought it was an accident.
Well, I mean, it was an accident, but it was also... It's purposefully made to do that.
but it gets all bent.
Well, he doesn't care about that.
I know, he doesn't. That's the other thing. He's repeatedly doing these experiments and doesn't give a shit if half of his house gets fucked up.
Oh, you mean like launching a bowling ball in his lab where it's going to destroy literally everything and he's just like, fuck it.
Love that part, though. Okay, so, yeah, he's like, oh, there's something on the calendar today. He's not looking at Weibo, who's his little robot person. And she keeps skipping over it because it's clear she doesn't want him to get married to Sarah.
She's in love with him.
Yeah, it's not weird at all.
Subplot.
It sort of. And I'm just, how do you forget your own wedding? Like, it just is so weird to me.
Something in white.
It's so bizarre. And I don't understand, like,
I told you Luke wants in, dude. He keeps shaking his collar. And now he's clawing his way.
Well, he's just upset because Grandma's leaving.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, Mommy's trying to keep me out of the podcast.
Yeah, I am. I don't like him poking me.
Poor Luke.
You want to come in? Come on.
2 dogs. Come on, Luke.
Oh, wait, Lily, do you actually want to come in?
Come on, Luke. Luke!
I don't think that they actually want to come in.
Well, I think Luke does, but...
Lily, come on.
Puppies!
I don't want to have to get back up.
We'll take her collar off.
Nope.
Luke!
Yeah, she doesn't want to be in here, honey. Come here. Okay. Come here, Lil. Go.
Oh, wait, Luke...
Do you want to be in or do you want to go out? You want to go out or do you want to stay in? Not you, kitty. Luke, do you want out or in?
He wants to stay in. Oh, wait.
Go on, kitty. Out or in? Nope, he wants out. You want in? In? Okay, you're staying
Yeah,
in.
Luke wants in. I'm telling you. I can tell. Luke! He's just waiting for you.
He's waiting for food.
He's waiting for you. Luke! Come on, big boy!
Come on. Come on.
He's like, I have an opinion. Even though I slept through almost the whole movie. Luke, come here, buddy.
You're just going to keep him right there?
That's where he wants to be right now. That's fine.
Okay. So he goes to school, and then the Wilson guy shows up and is like, ha ha ha, I'm the villain, and I have taken all of your experiment. Like, why do you keep giving him your ideas?
Well, you forget about the part where he went to the wrong classroom when they were painting people naked, but the most important part of that is he was on an OG Lime scooter.
Oh,
you didn't see that? You
well,
didn't see,
I saw the scooter, but I just
scooter?
thought it was just like a scooter, and I was like,
I was just like, wow, that looks so normal now.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. There is definitely a lot of stuff that he has that it's just, you couldn't sell any of these things and make money.
Well, even Weibo now doesn't even seem like it's out of place. It's like a drone that talks.
But back in 1997...
No, I know, but it looks so normal now.
And that is one of the biggest, I guess, to me, plot holes of this whole thing is, okay, you couldn't patent and sell Weibo.
Well, remember what he said. He said he could never get it right, like, because she hid the file about herself.
Like way 3/4 into the movie he says that. But he goes outside and sees his fiance, and then she reminds him, like, hey, we're getting married at 6:30 today. Why you're both working on your wedding day, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. Okay, I love you. I'm not going to forget.
Well, they're both like in their 40s or 50s,
which
so
also
maybe that's why.
It's weird to me. The age of all the characters in this movie is just, it doesn't make it right. And why would you just be fucking around with science when you're getting, like, if this is your last chance,
Weird science. Because he got an epiphany.
It's dumb.
He saw the thing and he's like, oh yeah!
Oh yeah, let me type this thing into the supercomputer.
Oh my god, and he could have typed that thing in and come back later.
Right. That's what I mean. It's just like you...
But it's because he's a genius. He's like autistic.
Right. He's so in love with this woman that's why he can't remember that this is the day.
Well, he's trying to save the school. He's trying to save the day. He saved the day.
I feel like they could have played that whole dynamic a little bit differently.
I would have preferred had they would have either not played the dynamic
or
made him already married to her. We really didn't need that whole thing.
No, they could have just done it a lot differently.
Yeah.
But so
because Fred McMurray was married, but they were broke.
Well, but we didn't see the first one. So this could have been the same plot line in the first one.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
That's what I mean, is that they...
But they're already not broke on this, and that's what doesn't make... Oh, no, that's for the school.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, eh. And she also didn't work for the school, and she was just like a lady.
Yeah, she was ready to go hoe herself out. That was hilarious.
So he discovers something, and he's going to miss the wedding again, and he creates Flubber.
Well, and Weebo lies to him, too. That's the other part. If Weebo would have just... The whole thing is Weebo's fault.
It is always Weebo's fault.
If Weebo would have just told him the truth, he would have gotten married. It would have been fine. I mean, it's clear throughout the movie that Weebo made sure he didn't get married all 3 times.
All 3 times, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Flubber is a sentient goo.
I guess because he threw that piece of hair in there this time. Like, it's a sentient
But is it sentient? It's a little bit unclear. Like,
well, I think, like, the main piece is sentient, but yet he has, like, crystalline pieces of Flubber. He has liquid Flubber.
Well, he has all the Flubber.
So maybe that's, like, Flubber's outpourings.
I don't know, but it's a little bit unclear of what the limitations of the Flubber are.
Especially the sentient Flubber.
That's what I mean.
It can do anything?
I didn't like the sentient Flubber.
I didn't either. I thought that was really unnecessary.
And it wasn't
but
most of the movie.
It was super 90s.
Oh, bless you. You have a cold. You should. It's 77 degrees Kelvin. It's very cold. Come on. All right. Let's try and describe you. You're an elastomer. Yes. You're highly viscous, but yet you can phase shift. Well, let's see. You're moldable. It's a little ticklish. Oh. You're foldable. You're gullible. Oh, right. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. And...
So yeah, he creates sentient Flubber, and there's a bunch of him just playing with the Flubber and exploring the wackiness of Flubber.
Oh, you can stretch it, you can play it, you can tick.
Which is fine, but it would have been better if it wasn't sentient.
Yeah.
And Flubber, like, goes on this crazy spree out the window. Why would
it goes through the entire neighborhood.
Why would it come back? Like,
that's what I couldn't figure out. And how is he in just like a plain catcher's mitt, he can catch it?
Right. And so it's like, why would this Flubber keep coming back if you just keep locking it in that thing?
Is he maybe, like, loyal to it because it's made out of a piece of his hair?
Maybe.
I mean that's the only thing I could even kind of, like...
Highly possible. Maybe they're just, like...
Kind of, like, sentiently connected somehow.
Yeah. There's, like, this whole recurring scene of this kid who doesn't want to look out his window because he's scared, and his dad, oh, nothing's going to come in your window. And the dad sees the Flubber come in the window.
Yeah, and he's, like, pissed. If you look
but then
at his
the rest
face,
of the movie, he's like, you need to calm down, kid. Like, it's just... Yeah. Anyways. Oh, yeah, then the next day, he goes to Sarah at school, and he's trying to be like, oh, look what I made. I made this goo.
Yeah, he's like, look, I made this stuff. It'll make us rich. And she's like, no, fuck you.
She doesn't even, like, even entertain anything.
And he tries to, like, put the Flubber in his pocket and fall out the window and bounce up. And somehow the Flubber rips out of his pocket and is gone?
Yeah, and it's never clear.
Where did it go?
Right.
Where did it come back?
He could have just, like, done the stretching thing and bounced it and done this other stuff. But no, he chooses to, like, I'm going to fall out the window where I would definitely have broken my spine.
Right, right.
Like, it's just, yeah, she's just not into it.
She's like, no more chances. You're gone.
And then it just cuts to this scene of
this rich guy.
Of the rich
Will
kid.
Wheaton.
Who apparently plays for... I thought he played for, like... I guess I thought they had a good basketball team up until the basketball game because He's
like, I was on the basketball team. I was supposed to get straight A's so I could go to Harvard Business School.
Well, and his dad's like, oh yeah, we'll fix this chemistry teacher. So he sends his goons to the chemistry teacher's house to, I guess, intimidate him.
Yeah.
To change the grade or whatever.
And he's like, oh, you don't understand. This guy has principles. Like, you gotta pay him extra. And I thought, like, wouldn't it make more sense to pay him off than to send some dumb goons?
This scene where they're watching him through the basement, I'm like, why don't you just go to the front door? They're watching him through the basement window, like on the ground, playing with the Flubber.
Well, experimenting.
he's like rubbing it. He put it in like a cream.
In a hand cream, and he rubbed it on a golf ball, and it goes super fast, and it knocks out one of the dudes.
And then he does the same thing with the bowling ball. And I'm like, why would you think the same thing wouldn't happen with the bowling ball?
It's a good question. But it's the 90s, and that's exactly how they did movies in the 90s.
But why would you do this inside? Like, it could heal.
Or at least inside where there's a bunch of sensitive equipment and stuff like that.
And he's a teacher. He doesn't make a ton of money. Well, he's a professor, so I guess he makes a little bit more. But still, it's like, I just don't buy that you're going to do this crazy experiment in this tiny room that it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it's, it's a lot of the balls hitting the goons in the head and
and flying up in the air and hitting them again.
Which they're just apparently just still flying up in the air to this day.
And then he goes out to after the guys are like gone and more kid stuff, he goes out to the garage and starts up his Flubber car.
Yeah, because that was kind of, I guess, his goal was to create an alternate energy source.
Yeah.
And to create flight, I guess. And he's able to, he's going to fly the car, and he says to Weebo, I'm going to go win Sarah back. Just you watch this flying car that nobody will notice.
Him and Weebo first go take this crazy flight all around in the car.
Oh, yeah, and they got to do the, and he's up in the sky. Oh, yeah, I'm going to turn the car off.
Yeah, because that makes a ton of sense.
Because, he's in the moment and he wants to just hear the quiet. But it's like, you're supposed to be so brilliant, but you're so stupid.
Well, it'll start right back up, right?
It's just, I don't know, bothered me. So they go above Sarah's house, and of course, they don't hear this car right above them. Why would they? Wilson basically is like, oh, are you going to come to the basketball game?
If we beat you guys, I'm going to take you to the mountains and fuck you.
And she's like, okay. But the team, that's why I thought they had a good basketball team. Because I'm like, why would the team be so bad? Why would you agree to that?
They've never won.
Like, apparently they've never scored a basket.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm like, this doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't. And she's like, we're going to beat you guys.
I'm driving up on Thursday to Rutland for the game.
I'll see you there.
Should I make dinner reservations? Since Rutland is going to lose, I'll pay.
All right. If your team wins, you can buy me dinner. If your team loses, we go up to the mountains for the weekend.
It's just bizarre. And then back at the home, Weebo just really hates Sarah. She's just like, oh, I don't think she appreciates you, and I'm going to go transform myself into a hologram now and come up to your bedroom and spy on you when you sleep.
Bang you. That's what really she was trying to do, is like be a hologram and like it was a creepy, weird part of the movie.
It's a weird part of the movie that I don't like. And he wakes up and decides that he's going to like cheat with the basketball game.
Well, it's not cheating, it's on the rules.
It's a substance that alters your performance. It's cheating.
And he leaves Weebo home alone guarding the Flubber.
Well, this is after he does a bunch of tests at the basketball court.
He does all these dumb tests at the basketball court, and it's like, okay, we're ready.
And so his plan is to put these tacks on the bottom of the player's shoes that they won't go off right away.
They have paint on them. The paint has to wear off before the Flubber will take effect, which makes absolutely zero sense with how Flubber works.
It doesn't make any sense.
Because it would just bounce anyways.
And it just... watching the basketball, I don't think any amount of Flubber could help these people, because they would just be bouncing and being like, whoa, this is crazy.
And like fall right on their face.
Right. They are like all short, nerdy, zero athletic kids, and it doesn't really make sense that they all of a sudden beat these like NBA level players.
And we cut in the middle of this to have this wackadoodle Flubber house party scene.
Flubber? Flubber! Where are you?
that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
It has, and that's what I mean, is the sentient parts of Flubber have no bearing on the rest of the movie.
No. And the whole thing of, like I said, everything is a non sequitur. Just, it's like, okay, here's a scene, has nothing to do with anything.
Why would Weebo take the Flubber out in the first place?
Oh, because she wants to get to know it.
That's dumb.
Of course that's dumb. Why in the fuck is Weebo really that sentient?
Well,
I mean,
that's the great mystery. That I actually bought more than anything, to be honest.
I guess,
but it's just like, and also
I can feel.
Why would this rich guy send his son to this shitty school with a shitty basketball team? Why wouldn't he just send him to the other school?
I think the point was to make it so it was really easy for him to get into the other school.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. But it just was like, what? Why would you send him to this crappy school with this crappy basketball team? This doesn't make sense. And if his team is so crappy, why would he give a shit about being kicked off the basketball team? Why would he care?
Because he needs those extracurriculars. That's the whole point. Because it's the 90s. You gotta remember.
It's bizarre, and I don't like it. Okay, and then after the basketball game, when the crappy team wins, because they're crazy, he's trying to tell her, like, oh, it's because of Flubber, and she just is like, no, I don't believe you at all. I'm gonna believe this guy.
Sarah? May I speak to you for a moment? Alone?
What you have to say to her, you can say to both of us. If you can remember.
Sarah?
Flubber. Flubber? Sounds like baby shampoo.
Flubber is what won the game. That amazing aerial ballet. It's because I flubberized the boy's shoes. Along the bottom.
You are remarkable.
And, like, wouldn't he tell her that this Wilson guy was skeezy? Like, wouldn't this have come up in their relationship before about this Wilson guy? They all know each other.
Yeah, it's probably true.
But she's so quick to be like, no, it's totally...
Well, I guess he knew her before, probably back when they were partners. And maybe he was not such an evil douche back then. It's hard to say.
Well, it's just, you're so quick to believe that, no, you're a brilliant scientist. There's no way you invented this thing. These people who have never scored a basket just all of a sudden started jumping higher than the entire... like, that anybody's jumped in the history of basketball.
Started dunking.
Like, it's really stupid, and it just is...
Yeah, and she's just a total cunt.
Yeah,
like,
she's...
it's so good.
Like, why do you love her? She's just not right.
But then, on the way back, the rich guy sees the flying car, and he's like, ho, I see this. We're gonna really make our money off this
How
guy.
would he know that it's Flubber? He doesn't know anything about Flubber.
He just knows that it's a flying car.
Like, the goon guys told him, oh, he had this substance and it made the golf balls go crazy, but it has nothing to do with the flying car.
Well, I mean, it does, but he doesn't know that.
But that's what I mean. It's like, you don't know that. It doesn't track.
And we get this sappy scene with the professor and Weebo, where he's like, I just don't understand people or how they work. I'm autistic and...
I didn't mind this. It was, an actual real... scene where he's being emotional, and then Weebo takes the video of it
and goes to Sarah and is like, oh, look, he actually loves you. And then she, like, wakes him up with a blowjob in the middle of the night.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
All is forgiven.
Yeah, it's all good.
And I just, okay, sure.
Yeah.
You didn't believe him a second ago, but now you're just like, okay. And then he woos her with the flying car, and then she's like, oh my god.
We can save the school.
$, $, $.
Dollar bill, y'all.
The rich guy basically, like, comes to intimidate them. Where they go to his house. Wait, where?
Yeah, they're in the garage.
Oh, they're in the garage. That's right.
When they land, and he's like, oh, you're gonna do this for me, and you're gonna do that, and he's like, no, I won't sell.
But I'll sell it to a car company.
Well, yeah, he's not gonna sell like his life's work just to this dude.
Right. And so
they're off to Ford to sell, I guess, just the car part.
Yeah.
To them.
Which, wouldn't you have to make, like how long does Flubber last?
See, I think what you'd be doing is licensing that part of the design to them for that money. Because you can't give them all of Flubber. You just have to be like, okay, we'll license this engine and flying design. But yet, the rich guy goes and steals all the Flubber.
while they're gone.
And they kill Weibo.
Yeah. So when they come back and he's like sees that Weibo's dead, it was really sad.
He's holding and Weibo dies.
It was really sad.
It was okay. It was a fucking robot.
No, it was very sad, and I definitely got very emotional when it was happening. It was horrible.
Get so emotional, baby. Every time Weibo dies in the movie.
It was sad.
With her stork.
Oh, yeah, and then she's like, what was that word? She was flashing. Can you remember? He's like, no, I can't remember. Oh,
and then she starts kissing him, and he can remember.
Like, it started with an S. And then apparently Weibo created not just a copy of herself, but used some of him to make a quote daughter of herself. And I'm like, that's weird.
We bet.
That's really fucking weird. Instead of, I don't know.
So he sees the weird, creepy porno version of Weibo, and
yeah, it's like, wow, she's way hotter than your girlfriend.
Yeah, and then he's off to rescue Flubber.
Right. And they go there, and then it's the big reveal that Wilson is working for this guy. And she's like, Wilson, why are you surprised? Robin Williams would have told you at some point, oh, hey, this guy's been stealing all my ideas.
Well, yeah, but he'd been legally stealing his ideas.
But he's a scumbag. Yeah. Like, it's just, why are you surprised? This scene, I don't know if they were trying to call back the old wacky, end of movie fight scenes or what.
Yeah, pretty much, because that's all this is.
It's just a lot of flubber bouncing all over the place and them slappy
wappy people. And jumping way high in the air and flipping over stuff.
Okay, I will say though, the part with the squirt gun was kind of funny. Where he's like,
ridiculous.
Give it to him, and he just keeps squirting. I don't know, it was really stupid, but I found it kind of humorous.
Oh my god.
I thought it was funny.
And then the flubber goes into Wilson's mouth.
This is gross.
Out of his asshole.
It is so
which is
gross.
Really just
disgusting.
Kind of terrifying, and that ends the scene.
And then Robin Williams just says, wow.
Yeah, wow.
That was so gross.
And then we cut to a scene where they're getting married through We Bet.
You couldn't just be like, hey, let's go down to the courthouse together. That's annoying. It annoyed me.
She couldn't have gone and picked him up on the way to the church?
That's what I mean. You're really going to pick a man with those kind of priorities? It's just, she's dumb.
That's the way the flubber bounces, I guess.
The flubber bounces. But yeah, that's the end of the movie. That's it.
Like I said, it's not that good.
No, it's really not very good.
Yeah.
She got any awards there?
The Let Robin Dance and Make a Real Movie award. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean Oh, sorry.
You hire Robin Williams, let him dance.
No, they had to keep him under lock and key.
Yeah, but they had to keep him, completely locked up, completely...
I
am very serious and sad.
Maybe he was feeling apprehensive because it was like his first time back, and he still felt a little jaded about working with Disney.
They made enough outtakes to make a whole nother movie.
Okay, you're right.
No,
you're right.
They could have done it. They had it. They just chose not to do it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
No improv in a John Hughes movie.
Not allowed.
He likes to sniff his own farts.
Not allowed. So I have a new award. It's how did you get from A to B? As how did Wilson get the formula for Flubber? They stole Flubber, but how did he get the formula? They didn't take any fucking formula. And how is Wilson even a scientist, to be honest? Because he's just stealing everybody else's ideas. How did the rich guy know that Flubber was in the car? It's just, there's a lot of liberties taken of A to B.
Assume me, yeah.
Yeah, A to C without stopping at B. It's just very...
That's what I said. It's a non sequitur to non sequitur.
It's beyond convenient.
Yeah.
And it's just not great.
Let's see. I got the Freaky Remake Award because they remade the movie, but it's not the same movie.
Well, I'm sure it's not. We haven't even seen the first one.
I thought we had, but it's not.
No.
There's no way.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. Like
we'll be watching it shot for shot.
Exactly the same.
Fucking weebos in there,
including the dance party of sentient Flubber. Yeah. Even though that's the thing I think was throwing me off is that it wasn't in the Son of Flubber. It's just a substance. Yeah. And that really bothered me.
Yeah, the sentient thing really does not work.
So I had the zero weirdness here. For the basketball game. Everybody's just like, yeah, that's totally normal.
This is totally fine.
These people who have never scored a basket are jumping above the basketball hoop.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. This
not
guy
weird.
Fat as fuck is just like, boom.
Yeah, it's just...
And I got the Cloris Leachman Award for Weibo.
Yeah, she's a robot.
That's what I mean. It was inappropriate.
She's like AI before AI.
Yeah.
That's what's so strange. I guess... I had a what's in the great beyond unanswered question for me is the sentience of Flubber. Like, it really bothers me that that's not. It's just like, does it have brain? Like, does it have feelings? Like, if they were gonna dive into that, it should have been more key to the plot. Yeah. It should have been like, oh no, Hubbard. It should have been like Herbie. Like, oh no, Flubber ran away and it's going to commit suicide.
Herbie's feelings are hurt.
Do you remember that in the Love Book? Yeah. He's going to commit suicide. Herbie, no. I'm just saying, if you're gonna touch on that, it needs to be more central to the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
It just was strange, and I just not my favorite.
I don't have any other awards. Do you?
No,
okay.
That's all I got.
So surprise, disappointment.
Sorry. I just was surprised by a lot of the casting choices, I guess. Like, everyone felt too old to me. Like, I don't...
I can see that, even though in the other ones they're pretty old, too. Why no freak flag? Why doesn't Robin Williams get a fly his freak flag? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, especially since the character of the professor is so crazy. Like, why...
Right, you could just let him do anything. It would be fine.
And it would make more sense, actually.
Yeah, it would make a lot more sense.
It would make him more likable. It would make it more believable of, I guess...
Let there be life!
Right, something. Like, it just would make it more believable that she would be enamored with this guy. Right. If he's funny and...
And it would have made him, like... It would have made this movie awesome. And instead they're just like, no, let's make this a dud.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I agree.
Remake? Yeah, it's already a remake.
Yeah, but I mean, for this specific one, maybe a little more of they could do, I guess, like, a backstory of the Wilson and Philip dynamic, like him stealing his ideas and how did that come to be.
Just use all the improv scenes and make that the movie.
Make that the movie. Better. Yeah. It probably would have been. I'm sure it would have been great.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts about this?
No, I mean, overall, it's not... It's just one of those movies. It's not bad, but it's not something I really want to watch again.
It's not good.
No.
It's not good. I repeat, this movie is not good.
Yeah.
Did you get a budget?
Yeah, the budget was $80 million.
Whew.
And they made almost $178 million.
So it did okay, but not great.
Well, that was back in the day when any movie that Disney put out in theaters would just crush. And I'm sure that people were like, oh my God, Robin Williams. And then they probably had the same disappointments that you had.
Yeah, maybe. Because I seem to remember the trailer looking a lot wackier than this.
Yeah. The Flubber dance party, if I remember right, was a big part of the trailer. They made it seem like that was going to be more of the movie. Is here's this wacky character.
Well, I thought they even made Robin Williams more wacky in the trailer.
Well, right, and I just feel like...
But if you're going to see a Robin Williams movie, you don't want this.
They could have made Flubber like more of a character.
Yeah, I guess. It just... I don't know.
And it could have had little noises that it kind of talked. Like
I could have used a lot less of that. No way.
But I'm saying if you're going to include it, you need to lean into it.
Just to go full hog.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
pick a side.
Fair enough. So what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is?
I'm going to guess it's not good. I'm going to say like a 45%.
It's better than bad. It's good. The critic score is 23%. This movie was crushed.
Yikes. That's pretty bad.
And with the people, it's 33. So it's just not good. It's not a good movie.
No, it's not.
What did you give the score, Kitty Cat?
I didn't give it quite that bad of a score.
I bet you gave it like 65.
No, I gave it a 46%. or 4.6 out of 10 pointless uses of flubber.
Fair enough. I gave it a 40. Even 40 is like the Robin Williams bump, even though they didn't do Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's just...
Because otherwise this easily could have been a 20.
I mean, they did consider Tim Allen for that part.
It would have been perfect for Tim Allen.
Flubber.
Yeah. So yeah. Like, subscribe.
What the
hell?
hell?
Wait, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm just ready to be done.
Luke, your dad is having a tough time today, bud.
Now it's time for Kat's favorite part of the podcast.
He's upset about Robin Williams, so he just wants to throw everything away.
Pretty much.
He's really upset by that movie.
You know, you're not that far off. This time we get number 327, which I feel like we've already got.
I feel like everyone we've already got.
That was The Princess and the Frog.
Oh.
And then how about 115?
That's pretty old, I feel like.
It is, and we have not got it yet.
What decade is it?
70s.
Oh, boy. I feel like we've already watched all of the animated movies from the 70s.
Maybe?
Or there wasn't just a lot in the 70s.
There was basically none.
So
this is not animated.
I have no idea because I don't know what came out in the 70s.
So from 1974, The Bears and I.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is going to be some movie with some dumb kid who goes, I found a family of bears. Isn't this crazy? And like, he has to like keep it a secret from his family. And it's got...
I think it's going to be some crazy adult living in the mountains with some bears.
Maybe. I think it's going to be a dopey little kid, like a freaking, what's that guy, the Ed Up kid's name? Moochie. There's going to be like a Moochie kid
moment, yeah.
who's like, you can't take my bears away from me. I found them first. And, then, you know, he's going to be like The Bears and I. And he goes on adventures with the bears and...
All right, fair enough. A Moochie Bears movie. Yeah.
And you're predicting Lone Man in the mountains.
Lone Man with his bears. Maybe somebody shoots one of the bears and he goes and gets revenge.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, no, you don't kill that bear. It's like, I kill any bear I want.
And then they're going to have a fight, like at the end of Nicky.
Yeah, something like that. A lot more Nicky than Moochie. So yeah, Bears and I next week. Rock on. In the meantime, I'd like to like, subscribe, whatever. Send us an email. DisneyOddPod@gmail.com.
Leave us a review. 5 stars. And hopefully you enjoyed this podcast more than Dee enjoyed Robin Williams' performance.
It's not Robin Williams' performance. It's not his fault. It's the director and the writer and everybody who cut this movie up. So yeah. In the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
Bye! It'd be like, hi, I can't talk.
Well, I'm not going to scream, so that's not going to be me. I only know like 5 to 10 songs anyways.
I know. That's okay.
I may realize that I know
That
songs.
just like when we went to Lady Gaga.
Gaga! Papa! Yeah, that was different though. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend, you ain't never had a friend like me. Ain't never had a friend like me.
Wow.
Prince Ali.
Did you pull up all your stuff?
Oh no. You can pretty much tell if I don't have my phone out. I didn't. But I forgot. There's Luke. We're running out of 90s movies.
That is weird. That's like the biggest section that we've gotten is 90s. Isn't it? I think we've gotten a lot of 60s movies too. But
yeah. I mean, the problem is that it seems like they're the fewest number of movies that were in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, by far.
Guess they just took up a lot of time making those.
And they were all, like, great. Well, for the most part, I mean.
I feel like there hasn't been a bad 90s movie that we've watched. Look at the list. Is there a bad one on there that we've watched?
Squanto!
No, Squanto's fucking great.
Blank Check.
No, that's different.
Huck Finn.
But that's not... It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. We both didn't enjoy it, but it wasn't, like, a bad movie. It was pretty boring, but...
Rocket Man.
Okay, okay, fine, fair enough. Rocket Man is one of the worst movies that we've ever
Mighty Joe Young.
Hey, you love watching
Gadget.
Charlize Theron. No, Inspector Gadget is beloved.
Yeah, I know.
You love watching Charlize Theron run around with no bra on in that movie.
Jesus Christ, she was fucking hot when she was that young. Good Lord. Burn a hole through the screen.
Okay.
It's true. It's just like, okay. This lady, wherever they found her.
South Africa.
Somebody on the bottom of somebody's shoe in South Africa, like, all right, are you ready? Oh, Jesus. How the fuck did that happen?
I don't know. Your head's not squirreled on straight.
Okay.
Yeah, let me take one more sip really quick.
Okay.
This is good because it's really raspberry. It's not too sweet.
And it's really raspberry. Like, it's...
But it's a lot. That's for sure.
It is a lot. That's
but it tastes good.
Sure. You know what I think is really good with that is pizza.
It's not something I want to have, like, all the time, but, like, every once a couple years, it really hits, especially in the summer, really hits the spot. Do you want to taste it?
No, it's way too much. I really like the peach one.
The peach one is far superior. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. It's very
It's just
true.
not as common.